Hello, people of YouTube. This is Financially Ruined, and I am your host, Steve Gray. Today we are talking about things I don't really actually own, but silver. This is just a quarter. Not an actual silver quarter, just a regular plain Jane quarter. And gold. And this is also not gold. I think it's tungsten. Gold-plated tungsten. It was like $10 on eBay, so I highly doubt it's even actual gold. It is a kind of cheap replica of the Lord of the Rings, the One Ring. And the reason we're talking about silver and gold is because we're talking about whether or not they are a smart investment or not. And it kind of depends. So, one of the downsides to silver and gold is you physically have them. So, if somebody knows where they are, whether that be a family member, and typically it's a family member, they may steal that silver and gold, and one day you go to check it out, and you got $100,000 worth of gold in there, which, is realistically like this much gold. It could be gone. So that is one of the downsides, is it is a physical thing, and it can be stolen. Now, if you hide it somewhere, fireproof safe, keep it in a safety deposit box at a bank or something, all of those are good things. Whether it be actual, just like an American Silver Eagle, American Gold Eagle, Gold Buffalo, bullion in general, which is like a 1-ounce coin looking like this, but bigger. Or if it's like a nice necklace or jewelry, anything along those lines, gemstones, some typically in it. But the four main ones are going to be silver, gold, platinum, and palladium. The price of them currently, at least for silver and gold, silver is somewhere in the $80 an ounce range, and gold is pushing $5,000 an ounce. The most expensive silver has gotten to is like $121, and gold I think was $5,500, roughly, in terms of price per ounce. So gold, very expensive. Very expensive. You're talking, typically for your average American, that is more than a paycheck. That might be a month's pay. $5,500 for 1 ounce of gold, $5,000 for 1 ounce of gold. That may be a month's pay, month and a half, 2 months' pay. It ultimately depends on your area and how much you get paid, but it is something that an ounce of gold is not feasible to the majority of people. It used to be. It used to be back in the day, back when it was, maybe $1,000 or under. It was feasible, but lately it's exploded. Same with silver. Silver, back when I first started looking into if I should buy gold and silver, it was $20 an ounce, and I should have bought it, and I didn't, and I'm stupid. I got into it because a coworker of mine who is now since retired was talking about he's always buying silver, even junk silver. If it's stamped 925, still silver, and he would constantly buy silver, and every once in a great while he would take a large amount of silver and trade it for an ounce of gold. But he mainly liked silver because there was more of it. He liked being surrounded by it. I guess he felt like Scrooge McDuck. Don't actually dive into a pile of coins. It is one big solid. It's not a liquid. If you saw the episode of Family Guy, they got it right. You will hurt yourself. You will injure yourself. So don't be Scrooge McDucking it. But in general, typically the price, like stocks, goes up and down. And what I will tell you is, as of today, would I buy an ounce of gold or an ounce of silver? The answer is no. I would not. There was a dip a few weeks back where gold went under $5,000 and silver went down to $60. I was like, let's see if it goes lower. And then I checked it again a few days later and it was back up high. And I was like, all right, just forget it. I'm not going to buy it. So it's a game. You got to be watching it every single day, and buy low, sell high. It's something that if you want it to invest it for the long term, then sure, buy it whenever the heck you want. If you have the money and you can afford it and you're not thinking about selling it within a year or two, then I would say just go for it. But the way I look at it is I don't want to ever buy it at the highest that it's possibly going to go. And do I think it's still going to go higher? I don't really know. A lot of economic factors affect it. Typically, as the price of the dollar, quarter in this case, goes down, the US dollar, the price of gold and silver go up. When the price of the dollar is really, really good, gold and silver go down because people see the dollar going down. They're like, okay, the dollar's not good anymore. I think I'm going to go buy a bunch of gold and silver because that's tried and true. We've been using it for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years. The human race has been exchanging gold and silver, and it's something that I think is going to be good theoretically till the end of time, unless it's like a full-blown crazy apocalypse thing and you're more worried about getting food. Because if you want a hamburger and someone's like, here's an ounce of gold, you can't eat an ounce of gold for a hamburger. That would be a ridiculous exchange anyway, you know, a hamburger being like $5, $5 to $10, and an ounce of gold being 5,000. But I feel like in a real end of the world scenario, people aren't really going to care about gold and silver. They're going to care about electricity, a house, guns, firearms, bow and arrows, things to hunt and eat animals, food. Basically your basic necessities, which is food and water, essentially. If that does really hit the fan. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't know if it will. I don't know if it won't. Nobody does. Who knows what'll happen? All we can do is just let time do its thing, and we will see what happens ultimately. And you never know. At the end of the rainbow, you never know if it's going to be a pot of gold or the Lucky Charm guy telling you not to take his cereal. It could be one or the other and everywhere in between. But in terms of an investment, right now I would say hold off. Do not buy gold and silver, platinum, palladium. Do not buy any precious metal, unless, you know, you can get it for free, maybe, I guess. If a relative has it, hold on to it. But I would not buy any of it. I have the only real gold I think I might have is a class ring that I think is 10 karat. It might be worth $300. I don't remember what I paid for it. And then I have a couple of silver eagles that my grandfather had when he passed away. So I do not have a stack. I do not have a collection to show you, unfortunately. I probably would. I would. If I had a fat stack of silver coins, I probably would. The chance of me actually buying a gold coin or a gold ounce is minimal, because I don't see that I will be at, you know, at least within the next 10 years, I don't see myself having an extra $5,000 to buy an ounce of gold. Silver, sure, why not? But gold, I don't know. I don't know. But statistically, over time, it always goes up. So that is something to factor in too. Over time, the precious metals, they do have dips. They do have dips, but you look at it compared to like the 1960s, it's going to go like this. There's going to be a big, huge curve upward, and right now the curve is way up here. So it's, you know, statistically, what goes up must come down. You know, there's going to be a cap. That's always what happens. The bubble always bursts, and the price will plummet. And will that be a year from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now? Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But that's what I would advise, is right now, stay away from it. If you see it drop, maybe right now, silver, if you see it drop below 50, and if you see gold under $4,000 an ounce and you can afford it, I would say probably go for it. Because you're talking 2 or 3 years ago when I looked into this, silver was, as I said, like $20 an ounce. Gold was like $3,500. And now look where it's gone. So right now, I don't think it's a smart financial decision to buy it. I would say maybe go towards stocks and bonds. Stocks, well, probably more stocks than bonds. But invest in other things. Guitars aren't the best investment. I have spent too much money on guitars. But keep in mind, it is a hobby for me. And I do assure myself that I can always either break even or get more money than I put into the guitar. That is just my mindset. That's how I do it. So any equipment you see in my videos, or if you check out my guitar channel, everything I have typically broke even on, at the very least. So I always make money, not typically, I'll be honest with you. But at the very least, I get my money back. When you buy used stuff, that's typically what happens. If you are going to buy gold and silver, I will end with this. Make sure you buy it from a reputable dealer. I would avoid Facebook Marketplace. I would avoid Craigslist, OfferUp, individual sales, unless you have that crazy, super expensive x-ray gun where you can, you know, zap it and it tells you exactly what's in it. Probably would avoid that, especially with gold, because, you know, you don't want to find out you just spent $5,000 on an ounce of tungsten. That's like $100. Go to an actual gold and silver shop. Find a reputable dealer online. Things along those lines. definitely avoid personal sales because you never know what you're going to get, and you don't want to get ripped off. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like and share. All of that helps, and as always, have a good one.